Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. And in this update, we are going to check out XCN's price chart, and specifically, we are going to check out the recent bounce that we got and try to answer a very important question. Can we argue that this was it, our final low? Now, before we go on some lower time frames, let's actually go on daily time frame and tell you that overall, I think I'm quite bullish on XCN because in terms of Elliott waves, I do think off of the lows in here, we are having 5 up into 1. This is a correction for wave 2, excuse me, probably in form of like an ABC expanded flat, and then very strong and sharp move up, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into our wave 3. And according to this count, which by the way is my primary scenario, right now we are having just a consolidation pattern, a correction for our wave 4, meaning what? After this corrective movement is over, I think in Onyx we are most likely and hopefully going to get another move on the upside into wave 5, and that's like the main reason for why we said in the midterm as we go down a bit more in XCM, it's not really going to hurt if we buy the dip with like a very small amount of money, because after all, you want to remember XCN is not really that much of a big project, so there's really zero reasons to go all in on such a project. However, again, buying a little bit and speculate on it, well, okay, it's not really going to hurt too much. Now, let's go on 1 hour time frame and see what is going on. And the last time that we talked about XCN, we were, I think, right in here, and the idea was that as we go down, again, we are going to buy the dip a little bit in hope that we get a bounce, and we got actually a bounce rather quickly, and I think this was like a 30% move on the upside, right? Let's just measure it real quick from the lows to about the highs. As you can see, yes, this was exactly about a 30% move on the upside, which is definitely not that bad, but I'll be honest, I don't really care about the bounce itself. What I really care about is the shape of it. Why? You see, in terms of Elliott waves, if you want to argue that maybe we have hit our final low around this area, then okay, you have to be able to find off of the lows a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This specific count is called an impulse. Rules for it are: we should not have overlapping of the waves between wave 2 and 4, and in any kind of 5 wave, our wave 3 should not be the smallest wave. And in terms of the subwaves, if you are a regular viewer of the channel, I think you know what I'm about to say. 5 wave up into wave 1, 3, and 5. And for our wave 2 and 4, we can have different counts. Doesn't really matter. Let's say, yeah, okay. ABC into wave 2 and possibly a WXY into wave 4. Now, after having an impulse, if truly the bullish scenario is in play and the bottom is in, we want to see a move down in form of a correction structure, generally a very slow and choppy move. And one very likely pattern in case of a correction is called an ABC in form of an expanded flat, and that one looks like this. This is our initial move down into a correction for wave B, which in it we are going to take this initial high and then followed by a rather strong move on the downside into C. And again, as you can see in here, we are absolutely going to take the low of our wave A in case of an expanded flat. And in terms of the sub waves, ABC into A, ABC into B, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down into C. Now let's go on the live chart and count some waves and see what is going on. Excuse me, there we go. Maybe it's actually best to go on 15-minute time frame so we can see the candles a bit better. So first things first, I think we can all sort of kind of agree that this is kind of a strong move on the downside, probably in form of a 1, 2, and then maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into wave 3, ABC flat for 4, another move down into wave 5. Also, pay attention, this specific move up seems to be a lot like maybe an ABC, and this can be A, B, C on the downside. And please pay attention, if you go on some other charts, you actually do not have this a small shadow right in here, and your lowest low is this one. And well, if you want to say this is the lowest low, okay, fair enough. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So essentially, what do you have? 5 wave up followed by, I'm gonna say on a higher degree, an ABC in form of an expanded flat. So there is a chance, and pay attention to this word, there is just a chance that in XCN maybe we have hit the lows, and this is one on a higher degree correction for wave 2. And what's next? A rather good bounce into wave 3 and 4 and 5, and basically the bottom is it. if this scenario is truly being played, then okay, in the next 48 to 72 hours, I honestly want to see a rather strong and sharp move on the upside in Onyx in order to hopefully just reclaim this level once more between, let's say, 0.88 to about 0.96 of a cent. As long as we are going to stay under here, I'm just gonna say, yeah, you know what, any kind of move up in XCN is probably just going to be a temporary pullback followed by, well, maybe a continuation of the move down. Why a continuation of the move down? Because unfortunately, under this support, we really do not have a whole lot of strong supports until the next one, all the way down here between 0.23 to about 0.36 of a cent. So I'm even counting on a scenario suggesting this move is going to continue on the downside for quite some time. So if it happens, I'm not really going to be surprised at all. So in short, yes, there's absolutely a possibility indicating that maybe in Onyx the bottom is in, but if that's the case, well, okay, in the next 2-3 days, we have to, this is important, we have to see a rather strong move on the upside. On the other hand though, what you do not want to see in Onyx is from here, or maybe a bit higher, a move down in order to take these lows right in here, because at that point, well, there's pretty much going to be no shot for you to be able to find a 5 wave in this whole phase, indicating, yeah, this was just a correction structure and our move down is going to continue possibly for another 20, maybe if we are not that lucky, even 40-50%. Now, let's go on weekly charts. And this is sort of kind of one reason for why I told you in the previous video, as we go down in Onyx, I might actually buy the dip a little bit. You see, in terms of indicators, in MACD, we absolutely still have this hideous sell signal, which is really not ideal. But in stock RSI, let's just zoom in. Pay attention, we are literally around the zero line, meaning the price is like extremely oversold. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that in Onyx we should get a move up effective immediately. It just suggests that bears are actually running out of steam, and right now seems like that we are having a bit of a buy signal, but unfortunately even this one is not really confirmed yet. You need to be a bit patient and wait until the end of the week, and at that point, if you still have this signal, well, okay, maybe it is going to be some sort of an optimistic sign. But the reason for why I said I'm buying XCN is not because of this buy signal. It's generally because the price is way oversold, and the main reason, if you remember, we specifically talked about it in the previous update. We said it seems like based on the moves that we are getting in XCN, there's actually a market maker in here that is making quite a good bit of money by absolutely destroying short-term traders. Why? Because I think these insane sharp moves on the upside in the couple of minutes that we are having in Onyx is actually as a result of that market maker buying XCN in large volume. And when we are getting a move on the upside, something like this, a lot of short-term traders will actually try to jump in, and that is going to be the moment that the market maker is going to get out of their position and basically destroy those short-term traders, and the price will continue on the downside. And this isn't actually something like a 1 or 2 time deal. No, this is happening in Onyx all the time. And trust me, I have seen moves like this way too many times to say, you know what, maybe this isn't really that much of a big deal. No, in my view, there's like a very high chance that we are having a market maker in here. And if, for example, the market maker wants to jack the price higher, well, okay, it is going to happen effective immediately, meaning what? You shouldn't really get help from weekly indicators, not even maybe daily time frame indicators, because those are ultimately lagging indicators. And based on what we are seeing in here, the market maker acts really fast. So that's why I said, yeah, you know what? I'm not really going to wait for XCN to get this move on the downside and get to here, because number one, we may not even get it, and number two, if we end up getting it, maybe we are going to see an immediate 100% pump, and at that one, I'm just going to miss the lows. So maybe the best way to go about it in Onyx at least is going to be just buy the dip as we go lower. So for now, in XCN, I think it seems like that not a whole lot is going on, but if you insist on being bullish and call the recent low, our final one, then okay, you have to see in the next 2-3 days a rather strong bounce. If we get that, trust me, I'm gonna make new updates and talk about it. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Onyx Coin. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.